नमो विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्री श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण इति नामिने श्रीकृष्ण लीला कथाने सुधाक्षम औदार्य माधुर्य गुणैश्च युक्तम् वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महान्तं नारायणं त्वं शिरसा नमामि विदण्डीनां भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादाब्जउदैकहृदि चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम let me offer millions of blessings for the people of Gurudev Gopal Gagarvarga Nama Nishta Santa Shipal Prabhupada Koti Dandavat all present past future Vaishnava Tathavat Dandavat Pranam Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Krupa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Ki Jai. Now, 7th October, Monday is Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj appearance day. 15th is Vijayadashmi, Ramchandra Vijay Mahasava. Then that day is Srila Madhvacharya's appearance day. 14th is Papankusha Ekadasi. Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. After disappearance day. And then 17th October is Purnima of Param Gurudev's disappearance day. Then Kartik Maas, Damodar Vat, Ujjavat, Niyam Seva, everything begins. Akash Deepda. So hopefully we will again do everyday Harikatha, something like that on 17th October. Most probably I'll be in Vrindavan that day, that evening. So we will continue because of this uh, Sankalpa, finish this book in Kartik. Maybe what is the meaning of Trunadapi Sunichan? Um, to which thing that we say Trunadapi Sunichan? Uh, Trunadapi Sunichan refers to what? Refers to although Vaishnavas are the most noble persons, They consider themselves to be lower than a blade of grass. In fact, they are not inferior or lowly, but they are the recipients of Bhagavan's love. Despite feeling lowly, Adama, and inferior, Nicha, they are recipients of Bhagavan's love. This is the thing. They are recipients of Bhagavan's love, but they feel lowly and inferior. If they are lowly and inferior, how they will get the Bhagavan's love? You know, recipients of love. So this is something we have to think. Feeling lowly and inferior, meaning they have nothing to do with this world. Devotees are worshipable for everyone. Thus, this verse includes the word Sunicha, Amlar, instead of Nicha, inferior. I'm the foot dust of Guru Pada Padma, the lotus feet of Guru Deva. I'm a servant of my spiritual master and Krishna. Such is the transcendental mood of Truna, the Pisunichana, more humbler than a blade of. Mahaprabhu preached, giving mercy to the living entities, developing taste for chanting the holy name, and serving Vaishnavas. Hypocrisy is not within Trunadapi Sunicha. Humility is not mere words or superficial pretending. Humility. This humility is the qualification needed to perform true kirtana. That is, to have taste for chanting the holy name and to have the conception of being a servant of the holy name. Service to Guru and Vaishnavas is the door to taste the holy name. It is at the heart of Truna, the Pisunichan. One should not exhibit humility in front of non-devotees, but only before Vaishnavas, begging mercy from them. One should not exhibit humility in front of everyone. This is the service of exalted personalities, Mahapurusha. Truna, the Pisunicata. Does not include exhibiting humility before persons who are inimical to Guru and Vaishnava, such as Ravana or a hypocritical Brahmana. One who displays such improper humility will not develop the qualification to perform kirtana or develop taste for the holy name, as this is actually committing spiritual harm to a living entity. Hanumanji, a great devotee of Rama, burned Lanka to ashes. This activity is truly Trunadapi Sunichata. So, feeling lowly is from the company of devotees like that. Question 15. Is everything that Bhagavan does auspicious? Is everything that Bhagavan does auspicious? Certainly. Everything the merciful does is mercy. There can be nothing inauspicious in the arrangement of the auspicious Lord. Mangalamaya. Whatever Bhagavan does is auspicious. Conditioned living entities who consider impediments to their sense gratification to be inauspicious only sees one roll of the dice. They have no idea what will happen in the fourth or fifth roll move. The mercy of Sri Chaitanya Deva and his devotees is Amnodaya. Amandodaya. No one is actually offended, injured, or wronged. There can be no inauspiciousness in their mercy. When a doctor gives bitter medicine to a patient, the patient may accuse the doctor of being cruel. But when the disease is cured, the patient can understand the doctor's mercy. Jai Jai Gaur Harti ki Jai Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Gaura bolia jao ka जीवन Gaura kari ke sara Gaura nayane rasara Gaura kari ke Gaura 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 Gaur 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 Jai Gaur Prema. What does Nama mean in a mantra? You see, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhika Nama. Huh? The word Nama means to surrender or offer obeisances with humility, giving up one's false ego or independence. O Gurudeva, O Krishna, from today onwards I have become your Ashrita Sevaka, servant who has taken refuge at your lotus feet. You should mercifully guide me and engage me in your service. I have completely abandoned my false ego, the conception of being the doer. Now may your orders, precepts, and instructions guide my life. This is my only prayer. Namaskara, offering obeisances, means to give up the false ego which gives rise to conceptions such as I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the director, and I am the maintainer. When the misconception that I am the doer is removed by the mercy of Sri Gurudeva, a disciple is eligible to receive true initiation and divine knowledge. The wise obtain perfection, siddhi, by rendering intimate service to Sri Gurudeva, who is very dear to Krishna. It is a sign of intelligence to render intimate service to Sri Gurudeva, who is dear to Krishna. For as long as he is manifest in this world, we will be cheated if we do not attain perfection by developing deep love and affection for Sri Gurudeva, who is a divine, worshipable, Atimartya personality. And if you do not sincerely serve him in a selfless mood, regarding him to be the worshipable Lord of our heart, despite finding my only true protector, rescuer, and friend, who has no material designations, by misfortune I lost him. How unfortunate I am. Although I found the bank of the Gangas, I am again looking for water in the desert. Despite discovering a treasure of jewels, I am again becoming bewitched by shining pieces of glass in an alluring store due to my worldly desires. What a sad situation and total ruination. This is Sarvanasha. Those who are very intelligent become free from duplicity, devoid of extraneous desires, and fully determined to follow Sri Gurudeva's teachings. Anugatyamaya Jivana, by surrendering unto his lotus feet. Those who do not do so will be cheated. How does one receive darshan of Bhagavan? Bhagavan is self-effulgent. He is an ocean of mercy. When a living entity becomes inclined to render service, Bhagavan shows mercy and reveals various aspects of himself, such as his form and color, within the consciousness of that living entity. One in the mood of an enjoyer is absorbed in the pride of being the doer. One in the mood of an enjoyer is absorbed in the pride of being the doer. One cannot have darshan of Bhagavan even by hard endeavor if one has the false ego of being the doer. If darshana is only possible in a heart purified by hearing from the lotus mouth of a spiritual master and Vaishnava. Mundane knowledge cannot bring a transcendental vision of Bhagavan. As Bhagavan is conscious, his darshana can only be attained through consciousness, using spiritual eyes, chinmaya chakshu. A servant, by his own effort, cannot impel his master to appear before him. The recipient of service, Savior, by mercy, can give darshana to his servant. So, initially, darshana of Bhagavan is given within one's heart, antar darshana, and thereafter it takes place face to face, bahir darshana. Why can't we fully depend on Bhagavan? We are atomic particles of consciousness, anuchetana, and it is our nature to take shelter of the complete conscious being, Sri Bhagavan, Bruhut Chetana. We are unable to develop faith in Bhagavan due to being absorbed in the objects of the material world. Only those who do not aspire for any worldly object, who are devoid of material possessions, and who do not depend on any object of the mundane world, can have faith in Bhagavan and depend on Him. We can be completely dependent on Bhagavan by listening to powerful narrations from saintly persons who are living scripture. When will our lives be auspicious? Answer. Our lives will be auspicious only when we hear about the pastimes of Bhagavan from the mouth of saintly persons and follow in their footsteps. If pottery work is to be done, work is started only after getting educated from an expert potter. If you want to be a potter, you must be trained by a qualified potter. If you want to be a confectioner, you must learn the art of making sweets from a qualified confectioner. If you try to be successful independently without consulting an experienced, knowledgeable person, you will face many obstacles and failures. Such a mentality indicates that one does not understand the real meaning of the scriptures and one is under the influence of ignorance. At that time, without understanding the real meaning of the scriptures, one is only capable of mental concoctions. Our duty is to take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru Pada Padma, the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Truth cannot be obtained without adopting a disciplic succession or Guru Parampara, Amnaya Dara. We cannot have darshan of Bhagavan without bathing in the foot dust of a great personality who is devoid of material possessions. Only Vaishnavas can protect us from Bhogya Darshana or Kudarshana. Bhogya Darshana or Kudarshana means to see the material world as an object for one's personal enjoyment and not as an object for Lord Krishna's service. As soon as we take shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master and become his property and make service to Lord Krishna, Krishna is our life, we realize the actual truth. Who are sense gratifiers? Vishayis. Who are sense gratifiers? Those who collect sense objects for their own happiness and regard those sense objects as instruments for their sense gratification are Vishayis. Those who collect worldly sense objects for the service of Bhagavan are not Vishayis, rather, they are servants of Bhagavan. It is not possible to recognize sense gratifiers and devotees only by their external activities. They can be recognized by their intentions. Those who eat to satisfy their own senses are bhogis, while those who eat to maintain the body for service to Bhagavan are devotees. Those who eat for their sense gratification are sense gratifiers, bhogis, while those who eat only to protect the body for the purpose of serving the Lord are devotees. A devotee is neither a bhogi nor tyagi. Devotees are servants of Bhagavan. They engage their wealth, sense objects, and various worldly things in serving Bhagavan. He is Sri Nama Sankirtan, the main devotional service, Mukhya Bhajana. He is Sri Nama Sankirtan, main devotional service. According to the spiritual conclusions, Siddhanta of Sriman Mahaprabhu and our Goswami Varga, Sri Nama Sankirtan is the main devotional service. Krishna Nama Sankirtan is the best among all the limbs of devotional service, including Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, and Archana. The other limbs, such as Shravana and Smarana, are under the control of Nama Sankirtan. Revelation, Spurti of the past times is only possible if one receives the mercy of the holy name. It is mundane pride, Jada Pratishta. If one gives up Kirtana, loud glorification of Lord Krishna, and attempts to engage in Smarana, remembrance, Kirtana cannot be fabricated by an ordinary human being. Such imitation, Kirtana, does not satisfy Krishna and it is an offense to the holy name. It can only satisfy one's own senses. This is sense gratification or offense in the name of devotional service. Sri Rama Sankirtan emanating from the lotus mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is real devotional service. One attains love for Krishna only through such Nama Sankirtana. Therefore, Nama Sankirtana is regarded by saintly persons as the best devotional service, and the self-manifest nectar of the holy name arises in one of the senses which is inclined to render devotional service. It satisfies all of the senses with its sweet mellow. In this regard, Bhagavan Sri Gauranga Deva has said, Bhajanera Madhye Shrestha Navavida Bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna Dite Dare Mahashakti Tara Madhya Sarva Shrestha Nama Sankirtan Niraparade Nama Laile Paya Premadan. Among all the limbs of bhakti, Navavida Bhakti is the best. Ravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Pada Sevana, Vandana, Archana, Dasya, Sakya, Atmanivedana. And it is capable of bestowing Krishna and Krishna Prema. Among these 9 types of devotional service, Nama Kirtan is the best. If one chant the holy names without offense, one quickly attains the wealth of Krishna Prema. Is association with saintly persons necessary? Of course, one must take association of saintly persons. However, saintly association, sadhu sangha, only takes place according to one's qualification, and it is not received just by being in physical proximity to a sadhu. One can have sadhu sangha even if one is physically separate from a sadhu, and one may not get sadhu sangha despite living in the same house as a sadhu. Festivals are celebrated in matas, monasteries, to provide opportunities for people to associate with saintly persons, to become Krishna Vrata, inclined to Krishna, instead of Gruha Vrata, dedicated only to one's family, to develop taste for the holy name, and to serve spiritual master and devotees of the Lord Krishna. The main purpose of festival in Mata, recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and discussion of pastimes of Lord Hari is to awaken the propensity of living entities to serve Lord Krishna. In saintly association, one's propensity to serve Bhagavan awakens and one attains the topmost auspiciousness. A sadhu is a devotee, not a sense enjoyer or renunciate. When we associate with saintly devotees, we realize that both the path of sense gratification and the path of renunciation are inauspicious. Pseudo or false renunciation see no way to achieve auspiciousness, and thus they remain on the path of renunciation. Both attraction and aversion to the material world arise from reluctance to serve Lord Krishna. As long as one has a tendency for either sense gratification or renunciation, it means that one has not taken complete shelter of devotional service. In other words, as long as one does not take to pure devotion or Shuddha Bhakti, one will have an inclination for renunciation or sense gratification. How can we obtain the grace of Sri grace of Guru Nityananda? How can we obtain the grace of Guru Nityananda? Answer. I am very worthy and qualified. This is not the mood of the spiritual path, Paramartha Marga. Rather, the mood is there is no one on earth as pure, as poor and inferior as me. Only when one has developed such a mood will one receive the mercy of Sri Guru Nityananda. If we merely pretend to have a close relationship with Gurudeva, we will definitely face many obstacles. And as long as we remain far away from Gurudeva, there is no chance for our well-being. But if there is affinity, faith and love towards Gurudeva and Vaishnavas, whether you stay away or stay near, welfare will definitely happen. One day, the son of a rich man came to me. He was practicing very intense renunciation. He was wearing a dirty cloth down to the knees. At that time, I was working as a landlord in Sri Mayapur. Seeing me engaged in the activities of a materialistic person, he lost faith in me. He left and took bad association elsewhere, after which he fell down in a few days. One will be totally ruined if one attempts to identify a sadhu by external activities rather than by his honest intention. How can one truly serve Lord Krishna? In reality, how Krishna's service is done. One truly serves Krishna by serving a spiritual master who is a devotee of Lord Krishna, and by serving Vaishnavas. Our neophyte devotees, Sahaji, cannot understand it. They think that one who worships Krishna is the greatest devotee. Regarding themselves to be Vaishnavas, they accept service from others. They give up service to the spiritual master and Vaishnavas. Those who heed the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees know that one truly serves Krishna by serving the spiritual master and Vaishnavas. There is no value to serving Krishna by there is no value to serving Bhagavan if there is no service to devotees of Lord Krishna. Those who give up serving the spiritual master and Vaishnavas and pretend to serve Lord Krishna or do Nam Bhajan are in fact committing offense at every step. As long as offenses are committed, one cannot actually serve Lord Krishna and his holy name. Those who serve Guru and Vaishnavas automatically serve Lord Krishna and his holy name. Chaitanya Deva and Goswami show mercy to devotees who serve the spiritual master and Vaishnavas with respect and love. Previously, I had the conception that I was a great scholar of mathematics. At that time, by great fortune, I had darshan of my Sri Gurudeva. When he showed no regard for my qualities of truthfulness, purity and morality and scholarship, I understood how great his qualification must be. If he could reject a person like me, when he started, when he started me in this way, I realized that no one in this world is as insignificant and reprehensible as me. I used to give so much importance to scholarship and morality, but this great personality did not give them even an iota of importance. I understood that he had something invaluable. I thought, is this person very merciful, or is he full of false ego? Then I surrendered to Bhagavan, and with his mercy, I knew that there was no means for one's well-being other than the mercy of such great personalities who are totally detached from wealth, woman, and prestige. Niskinchana. When this proper intelligence arose in me, I also surrendered to my Sri Gurudeva, and my life became successful. After this jolt from Sri Gurudeva, I understood that unless materialistic persons are jolted like this, they cannot improve their lives. This is why I'm telling everyone that of all people on earth, I'm the biggest fool. Do not be a fool like me. Abandon your pride of mundane scholarship and engage in the service of Bhagavan. Then your life becomes successful. I'm telling you the instruction of Lord Krishna, which I consider the most auspicious. If a householder devotee or devotee residing in a mata must have wealth but do not use it to serve Bhagavan, will it lead to offense? And Jagadguru Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu says in Bhakti Sandarbha, ये तो सम्पत्तिमन्तो गृहस्थास्तेषां तु अर्चनमार्ग एव मुख्यः. In other words, deity worship Archana Marga is the main duty for rich householders. They should serve Bhagavan nicely. Bhagavat 1084 that translates. Ayam swasti ayanaha panta dvijate gruhamedinaha yachara adhyaptavittena shuklane jeta purushaha. Na purushaha. Household or devotees should serve Sri Hari and worship him with faith and love. This alone will bring auspiciousness to them. If a household or devotee allows the limbs of devotional service, including hearing, chanting, and remembering, like the Niskinchana Bhaktas, devotees devoid of material possession, Niskinchana, but fails to engage his wealth in that service, this is the defect of Vitta Satya, or cheating in money matters. Thus, both householder devotees and devotees residing in a mata, besides engaging in hearing, chanting, and remembering, should completely give up miserliness and wickedness. They should use their wealth to serve Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava as per their capacity. If Bhagavan Sri Hari sees Kripanata and Satata in a devotee, he is unhappy, and consequently, that devotee cannot attain perfection in devotional service. Bhagavan Sri Gauranga Deva explained the duties of householder devotees to the residents of Kulina village. प्रभु कहे कृष्ण सेवा वैष्णव सेवना निरंतर kara Krishna Nama Sankirtana Rasa. You devotees should continually perform Nama Sankirtana and serve Krishna and Vaishnava. How will the living entities achieve auspiciousness? Mangala. Each question is actually is very deep and very amazing. In the absence of knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the absence of knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, free will may lead the living entity into difficulty. The external illusory potency puts living entities who are averse to Krishna into the position of being enjoyers of sense objects and bewilders them with the false ego of being an enjoyer. They forget their constitutional nature of being a servant of Bhagavan and experience a life full of danger. They must feel distress due to many types of moods within the false ego. While wandering in the material world, a fortunate living entity may develop an interest in serving Bhagavan by His grace. That fortunate living entity develops faith in the lotus feet of Sri Gurudeva, who is non-different from Bhagavan and who is the ultimate shelter of love of God. And he enters the kingdom of devotional service by serving the spiritual master. Under the shelter of Sadguru and by the influence of Sadhu Sangha, the fortunate living entity realizes that the lotus feet of Gurudeva are a treasure of auspiciousness, and he sees Gurudeva as the receptacle of love of God. In this way, his propensity to serve becomes stronger. Only living entities we have the good fortune of taking shelter at the lotus feet of a spiritual master, the most beloved of Bhagavan, can attain pure devotion and thus be saved from the clutches of the illusory potency. If one commits offense to the lotus feet of Sri Gurudeva, one's attachment to worldly objects will increase and consequently will fall away from the path of devotional service to Lord Krishna. He will proceed on the path of sense enjoyment, which appears sweet at first, or on the path of renunciation. In other words, he endeavors to achieve happiness of heaven or the happiness of liberation. Only fortunate, saintly persons continually serve Bhagavan under the guidance of a spiritual master. Such saintly persons have no taste for what is pleasing to their own senses. Indeed, they find the thought of enjoying sense objects to be distasteful. So, how should devotees live at home or in a monastery? Whether a devotee resides in a mata, matavasi bhakt, or at home, grihastha bhakt, he should externally seem like an ordinary sense gratifier. But internally or in the heart, he should have deep dedication to devotional service. Outwardly dressed as a devotee, he should not be attached to sense objects, household or wealth, and should not be desirous of prestige. He should not engage in sense enjoyment. To do so is duplicity, which is a formidable obstacle to devotional service. False or monkey renunciation is reprehensible and it causes a living entity to fall down from the path of devotional service. We should accept the ideals and teachings of Mahaprabhu, who told Raghunath Das Goswami. Markata vairagya nakara loka dikana yata yogya vishya bunja anasakta ana antare nishtakar बाह्य लोक व्यवहार अचिरात कृष्ण तमाया करीबेना उद्धार रघुनाथ चैतन्य महाप्रभु do not practice renunciation like monkeys as a show to others. Accept sense objects with a detached heart to the degree that you need them. Always have dedication for devotional service in your heart, but externally behave like an ordinary person. In this way, very soon Krishna will deliver you. He is one liberated from material existence simply by becoming a renunciate, sannyasi. He is one liberated from material sense simply by becoming renunciate. Answer is no. Entering the renounced order of life and putting on the dress of a sannyasi are not the same thing. The real meaning of sannyasa is giving up the desire for bhukti and mukti, sense gratification and liberation. Those who give up the desire for mundane religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification and liberation, and make serving Lord Krishna the essence of their lives, are actually renunciates. A true monk follows in the footsteps of great personalities and is exclusively devoted to Bhagavan. Merely wearing the attire of a monk without having these exalted qualities is nothing but imitation or hypocrisy. Mahaprabhu said, Paratmanishta matra vesha dharana mukunda sevayaya samsara tarana. In other words, the purpose, uddesha of wearing the dress of a renunciate and accepting the renounced order of life is to develop dedication for Bhagavan. One is delivered from material existence by serving Bhagavan. Accepting the renounced order of life means lovingly serving Lord Krishna with one's body, mind, and speech, and wealth, knowledge, intelligence, and possessions. Only in this way can one be liberated from material existence and become a devotee. One cannot deliver oneself without serving Bhagavan. Whether a householder or a monk, one will have to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord. Only then will Bhagavan be happy and bestow auspiciousness. If you serve him and give up miserliness and deceitfulness, we will get his mercy in this very lifetime. Next question, 73. Can a devotee be recognized by his external activities, knowledge, wealth, or poverty? Answer is that never. Sense gratifiers relish mundane happiness and they are addicted to sense enjoyment. Renounced persons, tyagi, regard worldly sense objects to be a source of unhappiness and thus they become detached from them. Both sense gratifiers and renounced persons are non devotees who are full of fruitive desires. They cannot understand the service attitude of devotees, nor their natural renunciation. Devotees may externally perform pastimes in which they have worldly opulences such as prestigious birth, wealth, scholarship, or beauty. Alternatively, they may perform pastimes in which they are devoid of these opulences. One will be cheated if one attempts to judge or identify them according to how much opulence they possess. The scriptures state that it is very difficult for even demigods to understand the activities of Vaishnavas. Fruity workers, speculative philosophers, sense gratifiers, renunciates men see devotees in various ways through their gross vision, but they cannot understand the real nature of the devotees. There is no shortage of opulence in devotees of Bhagavan, who is replete with six opulences. Our devotees dedicate all of their opulences to the service of Bhagavan. They do not enjoy or renounce sense objects like sense gratifiers or renunciates do. Whether or not devotees of Bhagavan have opulences, one should have faith in them and not disrespect them in any way. Only devotees know how to properly utilize sense objects and the various opulences of this world. Devotees are neither sense enjoyers nor renunciates. They always endeavor to satisfy the senses of Lord Krishna. Such beautiful spiritual intelligence is only attained by the mercy of devotees. One who has developed this intelligence always performs Harikirtana, and Ariseva, has given up all types of false ego, is completely dedicated to the lotus feet of devotees, has stopped trying to understand Bhagavan and his devotees by his own intelligence, and has abandoned all desires other than that to serve Bhagavan. In this way, eternal auspiciousness is obtained. So, two more questions. Will one obtain everything by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the divine spiritual master, Sadguru? Question. Will one obtain everything by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the divine spiritual master? By taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Gurudeva, one obtains everything. Krishna Nama, Krishna Mantra. However, if one does not have the intelligence to serve Sri Gurudeva sincerely, one will not realize the transcendental truths of Bhagavan and Bhakti. If one does not serve the spiritual masters faithfully, intimately, and lovingly, and does not advance on the path of devotional service as per his instructions, one cannot achieve real auspiciousness. In other words, one cannot achieve bhakti. People who think that sense perception is the only means of obtaining knowledge have full faith in reasoning and argumentation. If one adheres strictly to patha, tarka patha, one cannot enter patha, the path of submissive oral reception from authority, or bhakti marga, the path of devotional service. Logic is a product of intelligence, and devotional service is beyond intelligence. One's intelligence is not fully developed unless one practices devotional service under the shelter of the lotus feet of a devotee, spiritual master. Scriptures state, Adau Guru Padashraya Tasmal Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam Vishrambena Guru Seva Sadhu Vartmanu Vartmanam. First, a spiritual aspirant, sadhaka, must take shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Then he must accept initiation into a mantra of Lord Krishna and accept spiritual instruction. Thereafter, he must lovingly serve the spiritual master and follow the path shown by great saintly personalities. Niskinchan count high. Who is Niskinchana? Those who do not desire anything of this world are Niskinchana. They know that nothing in the material world can provide lasting happiness. No object on earth is ever pleasing in nature. Earth is like a prison for the conditioned living entities. We are imprisoned here due to forgetting God, and that is why we are suffering so much. Prahlad Maharaj was the emperor of Bharatavarsha, Bharata Samrata, and he was a devotee, devoid of hankering for wealth. Sudama Vipra, who was very poor, was also Nishkinchana. Both of them were devotees without any material motive, Nishkama Bhaktas. . Niskinchana bhaktas know that this entire world is an instrument for serving Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. That's why they do not desire to either enjoy the objects of this world or renounce them. Rather, they engage all objects in the service of Bhagavan. If one does not perform devotional service to Lord Krishna, he has no right to accept even a piece of straw from this world. Devotees are always aware of this. Devotees know that as a result of rendering pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, all facilities are provided and all auspiciousness is attained. By continually serving the holy name of the Lord Krishna, without committing any offenses, one can realize the nature of Bhakta, Bhakti and Bhagavan. One should perform Kirtana of Krishna Katha only after having the good fortune of hearing it from the lotus mouth of sadhus and gurus. Is the only way to exclusively serve Lord Krishna. If we are not exclusive in our service to Him, we will have to serve worldly persons and objects. If one does not cultivate such exclusive devotion for Lord Krishna, one will only be devoted to worldly things and not to Him. What is favorable for Krishna and Shilana? We should do we should do Anushalana of Krishna only. We should do Anushalana of Krishna only. In other words, all of our activities should be for the service of Lord Krishna. Sri Vrishabhanavi Devi, Srimati Radhikaji, is most favorable to Krishna. Therefore, her name is Anukula. Gurupada Padma is a personal associate of Srimati Radhikaji. Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda worship Anukula's Krishna or Radhaji's Krishna. Ah. They are more inclined, Pakshapati, to serve Sri Vrishabhanavi, the daughter of Sri Vrishabhanu Maharaja, than to serve Krishna. One can cultivate favorable devotional service to Krishna only under the guidance of Anukula Srimati Radhika. All facilities are attained only when one's devotional service is directed to Krishna. In other words, if one tries to please Bhagavan in all ways, all obstacles to devotional service will gradually disappear. Alas, instead of regarding Krishna to be the proprietor of our home, we regard ourselves as the owner, and thus we are Grihavrati. Question 77. Should we speak the harsh truth? Ah, this is the thing. Should we speak the harsh truth? The answer. But this is the answer. Certainly. We should fearlessly disclose the truth to everyone, and thus they will not be cheated. Sometimes people come here, like today, yesterday or something. Uh, tell as much as possible. Certainly, we should fearlessly disclose the truth to everyone, and thus they will not be and thus they will not be cheated. The truth, even if unpleasant, should be spoken if it brings about the welfare of the living entities. No one should be bothered by this. We should try to search for the real truth. We should ponder how to bring about the welfare of for all people of the world. We should be determined to bestow auspiciousness on ourselves and others. We should not only strive for the eternal well being of people living now, but also for those to come in the future. We should always discuss the blissful abode of Vaikuntha. After reaching that abode, one does not have to return to this miserable material world. Before we can tell others about that transcendental world, we must first take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru Deva. We should always serve the lotus feet of Sri Guru Deva, who gives us transcendental knowledge. If we live in a household, everyone living there should serve him. We should make sure that Bhagwan and devotees are in a comfortable home, even if we ourselves are living in a hut. We should feed Bhagwan even if we ourselves are not able to eat. Only in this way can we get his mercy. We must always remember that everything belongs to Bhagavan. Life only has meaning when all objects of the world are used to serve Bhagavan. One must follow these principles in order to preach them. If the truths of scriptures are not spoken boldly, Sri Guru and Gauranga will not be pleased. One can preach fearlessly to the degree that one is empowered and firm in devotional service. If I refrain, if I refrain from if I refrain from telling the absolute truth out of fear that people will be offended, I have abandoned the path of truth as taught by the Vedic scripture and accepted the path of falsehood that is not supported by the Vedic scripture. If I do so, I have become an atheist and cheater. So, the questions goes on like this. Very amazing. Uh, from this question and answer, we can understand the personality of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Wow, eye-opening, very bold. No ifs and buts. So we are fortunate, to hear these answers. Uh, so pure thought and set an example the way personally whatever is telling you are living. By hearing this we can see that we are actually associating uh, coming in touch with him through Guru Parampara. And we are so fortunate. So hopefully we will hopefully finish by the end of before the end of Kartik. Uh, Maybe our life will be successful. So we will end here. If you have any questions, please you can do on Thursday. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you. Please forgive me for the delay. There were so many guests here. I'm talking to them. I'm delay. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे. Stand out, pronounce everybody. Hare
दंडवत प्रणाम गुरुजी.